Iron Man's main melee attacks are his fists. With his fists, you can do his normal combo attack, like smashing square. But he also has a thrusted uppercut that sends enemies into the air. With thrusted uppercut, you can combo it into the next move, the power dive, which while you are in midair, Iron Man goes straight down, causing a shockwave that knocks enemies over, just like how my self-esteem gets knocked down a peg every time someone leaves a mean comment. Anyways, let's talk about his ranged weapons. His ranged arsenal is like no other, from rockets to lasers and even his famous repulsors. His normal rockets are best for dealing high damage to enemies and has splash damage. Another rocket he has is the sticky rocket. When aimed in, can target multiple enemies at once, which can throw them into the air. The next projectile is his laser beams. The weapon has many uses, from the photon samurai to the laser scythe. One of the best laser attacks is the whirling tempest, which makes Iron Man spin around while blasting out lasers from his wrist. This is definitely one of his best attacks for clearing out enemies that are surrounding you. But take note that this is a power attack, so it takes power. His last projectile is his repulsors, which best pair with his normal melee attack because there are many combos you can do with them. One of the best abilities to use in the repulsor section is the power pulse, because it can break shields and stun the enemy on the ground. So another one of his abilities is like he makes a shield, but I mean it's not that useful. It's easier just to like fly away and you take a lot of damage rather than block it. But I mean sometimes you can like stun people with it because like they hit it, and it's like the parry thing. It's not very useful though. So I just wouldn't recommend using, because it also takes power and you need the projectiles. So. Each hero in the Avengers game has a supportability, an assault ability, and an ultimate ability. Iron Man's supportability is the arc overload, which emits a massive pulse of electricity that shocks nearby enemies, which you get a buff. It's called the overcharge buff for 10 seconds, which makes it so you have limited energy or unlimited energy, and range attacks do more damage, and your attack speed is increased. So his Iron Man's assault ability is like his cool unibeam. Basically just does a lot of damage, doesn't do much else. So So Iron Man's ultimate ability is the Hulkbuster armor. When you deploy the armor, you don't take any damage, but you have a limited amount of time. So every time you get hit, the time limit goes down. So always focus on the big targets and like just do as much chaos as possible. So always like just keep spamming the square button, right? I'm wasting time right now, right? So the gear I would use for Iron Man is anything that suits your playstyle. Okay, so here are some pro tips. Number one is when playing Iron Man, it's okay to just fly away and shoot rockets from above when you have low HP. There's no shame in that. Number two is when paired with Thor, Iron Man gets his overloaded buff when Thor does his support ability. Number three is when using the Hulkbuster armor, focus on the enemies that have the most health so you can take them out of the fight first before they do lots of damage.
Gotta get something off my chest.